I hate driving. I hate passengers. Now what? So I've hit a wall. I haven't driven in 2 months. Now, part of the reason this all got started was because I got sick about 2 months ago, and I remained sick for the better part of 5 weeks. Now I'm finally starting to feel better, but I don't want to drive. The thought of getting in my car and picking up passengers, some of them are real a-holes, I don't want to do it. So this video is about what do you do when you got to drive, but you don't want to drive, right? There's something you got to do, but you don't want to do it. So I'm going to suggest 6 strategies to get you back. It doesn't have to be going back on the road, but back into doing something you should be doing when you haven't done it for a while. And stick around to the end. I'll share with you the number 1 strategy that always works for me when there's something that I have to do that I don't really want to do. So I got all that and a lot more coming up. All right, hey everybody, it's Jay Crater with the RideShare Guy, drinking my freshly brewed Starbucks Nespresso. Coffee in the morning. Okay, so it's a Saturday morning and I am not driving. And this is about the 8th weekend where I have not been driving. Now, I got sick about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and I've fallen into this habit of not driving. Normally, I would not do videos on Saturday. Normally, I would be out driving from 4 in the morning till about noon. And I decided yesterday I'd rather do the videos now, and then I don't have to do them next week, and I'm fine not driving. And tomorrow, I'll have nothing to do, and I'm just going to relax and do something really pleasurable. So what do you do? What this video is about, by way of background, what do you do when you got something you should be doing and you don't want to do it? So it's really a question of motivation and how do you get back, right? I'm a creature of habit. So now I'm in the habit of not driving on the weekends, and how do you change that habit again so that I'm back to driving again? Or maybe I don't want to drive again. So we're going to explore these issues. So number 1, stop. If you can afford to do it, okay? So I'm going to suggest some strategies to get back on the road. But it doesn't necessarily apply to being back on the road. It could be just doing something else in your life, something you're procrastinating about. And the first strategy is just stop. If it makes sense for you to stop doing something, stop. So in my case, I don't have to go out and drive. So I could just stop, and I have stopped for nearly 2 weeks now. So that's a very valid strategy, right? Sometimes our feelings are an indicator that something isn't quite aligned anymore with what we're all about. So if you can stop, stop. So that's the first strategy. Number 2, focus on the best parts of driving. So my mindset now is driving. I hate driving. I hate passengers. Now what? But when I start to think about the better parts of driving, like, isn't it great to drive and watch the sunrise? I just love that. Isn't it great to drive and see the moon, right? Because I drive early in the morning and it's dark, and that's when the moon is starting to come down right along the horizon, and it's big, and sometimes it's orange. Glorious. Or how about taking somebody to the airport in the morning? Someone's excited about going on a trip and they're going someplace interesting, and you have a conversation with them, and I'm in my warm car and I got some great music playing, and then we're talking about travel. That's really awesome. So these are all, and I can even just, as I'm telling you these things, I can even feel like, Oh, yeah. I remember that was all pretty great. That opens up, more permission to go back to doing the thing that I'm talking about doing, which in this case is driving on the weekends. Number 3 is break it down into smaller tasks. So instead of looking at, I'm going to get up at 3, I'm going to be on the road at 4, I'm going to drive until noon, right? That's 9 hours. Break it down into smaller tasks. Okay, I'm just going to focus on getting up and taking a shower. Then I'm going to focus on making some coffee. Then I'm going to focus on getting gas in my car. Then I'm going to focus on pushing on that app, and then we're on our way, right? So if you can break it down into smaller tasks and just focus on the smaller tasks, then they all come together and it's this bigger task. So that's a very valid strategy as a way to kind of inch back into the work that you need to be doing. Set a specific goal and deadline. Number 4, that's number 4. Yeah, number 4. Set a specific goal and deadline. So for example, you may say, okay, normally I would drive for 8 hours. To start off, let's say tomorrow morning, I'm just going to drive for 4 hours. So I'm making a very specific goal. I'm going to do 10 rides and I'm going to get it done within 4 hours. That seems a lot more doable, and it's not as intimidating as saying I'm going to get in my car and drive for 8 solid hours, okay? Because 8 hours is kind of pushing me, and sure, that's what I've done, thousands of times, but right now that seems like a lot. So if I break it into the first 4 hours, and maybe when I get to the end of the 4 hours, I'm going to say, hey, that's great. Now I'm going to have a Starbucks drink, and I'll do another 4 hours. So set specific goal and deadline. Number 5, find intrinsic motivation. So what in the job can motivate you? So in my case, it's not the money, it's getting out of the house. So I care for somebody who has Alzheimer's. And if you've been around somebody with Alzheimer's, it can be very challenging. You have to be very patient. You're going to be repeating yourself a lot. It's like a different reality when you're around somebody with Alzheimer's. And it's really important for me to get out of the house and interact with people who are normal, right? Who don't have Alzheimer's. So that's an intrinsic motivation inherent in the job. And when I think about that and the importance of getting out of the house and engaging with people, then it makes a lot more sense for me to go back out there and get in my car. So look at the task and what is the intrinsic motivation within that task. And number 6, gut it out. And this is the number 1 strategy, right? Sometimes you can't give yourself the choice, right? I used to sell advertising on grocery store shopping carts. And this is what they call one call close. And it was very challenging. When I started back in 1990, I was trained to go check into a hotel that had free local phone calls. This is before cell phones. And I'd go all over the town and find all the forms of advertising. So I had this big stack of phone books and magazines and church bulletins and things like that. And then I would sit and I would call all these people. And I'd say, hey, I'm in the area. We're doing a promotion in front of 35,000 people at the local Safeway store. We're going to be featuring one local realtor. Could I come by and, let you take a look at it? And then I would go and I would meet with these people and I would have to get them to write me a check right there. That was called a one call close, because if they didn't say yes right then, they probably weren't going to. And I hated it, but I was good at it and I had a family to support. And many times I just gutted it out, right? I just showed up and I just started doing the work, and eventually the energy comes up and you're doing the thing and you make some money and then you're excited, and before you know it, the day's over and the week's over and you made a lot of money and everything's great. Then Monday comes along and it's like, I don't like this. I hate this. But you do it. You just gut it out. So that's the ultimate strategy. If you got something you got to do it, right? You don't really want to give yourself the option of going into a crisis mode, where things really start to break down because you're not taking the actions that you need to take to support yourself, or in my case, that was to support a family. So gutting it out, strategy number 6. With you some really great strategies to get to taking the action that you need to take. It's a skill we all have to learn because, let's face it, most things in life we don't want to do, right? Especially for men. I know I understand men better than I understand women. Our natural inclination is to sit on a chair, preferably a reclining chair with a TV in front of us, have some food brought to us, and don't bother me, right? I don't want to even talk to people. I just want to sit there, watch some TV, and be left alone. That's like our natural happy spot, right? Let me in my cave. You can come bring me some food, and I'm just going to watch TV or watch a movie or whatever I want to do. And I don't want to have to do anything. That's our natural space. So obviously we've got to, play some games, incorporate some strategies to go out, give ourselves some motivation, break it into smaller parts. The things I shared with you really do work. And, we got to get things done. We got to get things done or things start to break down and we go into a crisis mode. These strategies can actually be very life-saving. So I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned something about yourself and about what it takes to take action, to move forward in spite of your feelings. It's really what this is about. And I invite you to go out and tell somebody you love them. Thanks for watching. This is Jay Crater with the RideShare Guy. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And I will see you on the road. Be careful out there. See you next time. Bye-bye.